The question is, how do you stop Benzema in particular, but also how you stop Vinicius Jr. on that left-hand side?
Well, I think that is the pressure point when it comes to this game. Like, this game should be out of sight, in my opinion. I can't believe actually that it's just one goal in it. And going to the Bernabeu now, they've done very well. Obviously, in that PSG game, struggled in the Chelsea game. And a question for Pep Guardiola: do you do what you do with Cancelo and allow him to push on? Because what that does is it allows that little space in behind. You know, we talk about Liverpool as a similar thing at times. There is that focus down that left-hand side a lot of the time. And naturally for Real Madrid, the focus will be on that left-hand side. So that's the big question for Pep Guardiola. I'll throw it to you, Hugh. What would you do with Cancelo? Would you play the way Man City play and just allow him to do what he wants to on that right-hand side? Or would you say to him, just be that little bit more responsible? What would you do?
Yeah, he does have to be a little bit more reserved, I think. I know Cancelo likes to push up as high as possible. Obviously, when he plays on the left-hand side, we've seen those sort of in-swinging, right-footed deliveries be so successful for Manchester City this season. He's got in amongst the goals as well for a defender. But I think you do have to be pragmatic. You're going away from home. You've got a one-goal lead. He's the better player, if you like, to go up against Vinicius. I think one of the interesting things is they like to play through Cancelo a lot. Doesn't matter which side he's on. If he can just keep the ball, if he can make Vinicius run more, I know this sounds crazy, but if you can wear him down a little bit and take away some of that explosive energy that he might have towards the end of that game by making Real Madrid chase the ball a little bit, then that, I think, will be a big component here. Possession will be 9/10 of the law, if you like. If they can do that on Vinicius' side, and maybe try and exploit the left-hand side instead, push Zinchenko a little bit higher, see if he can get some whip deliveries into the box, that might be an area for success for them. But I don't think they have to go all out. They have a goal lead here. Try and stop Karim Benzema. That's more important in many ways, because I think without him fit and firing, and that is absolute best, Real Madrid have no chance. And that, I think, could be even more of a key area between Ruben Dias and Karim Benzema.
It's one of those as well where if you do sit back a little bit, you're going to invite the experience and pressure and quality of Real Madrid at home, allow the crowd to get involved in it a little bit more, and they'll obviously get a bit more excited, and then anything can happen, as we always seem to see in the Champions League. In terms of regretting what may come with Man City, because if they don't make their way into that Champions League final, it is a bit of a travesty. It is a huge missed opportunity. Do you think Man City are clinical enough, or is that the one thing that's going to hurt them in terms of the Champions League or the Premier League?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. For me, it isn't like you mentioned the 16 shots themselves. Manchester City had so many opportunities. They had 2-on-1s, they had 3-on-1s or 3-on-2s, where you thought the final pass, the right decision, the right choice here will put a player in. The amount of times in their last few games, the ball is just crossed past the 6-yard box. And in previous years, it would be a tap in for Sergio Aguero. And there isn't that striker's instinct. In fact, that's one of the reasons Gabriel Jesus, for me, has come to the fore in this Manchester City team over the last few games. Even playing on the left-hand side, he's more of a penalty box threat. In fact, he's more of a 6-yard box threat, because he gets himself into the area where you score goals. And he's just got that instinct. I know it's tried to be coached out of him to be an all-round player. He can do so much in the wide areas. He works so hard. And maybe he's not the best striker in the world, but he certainly thinks like one when he gets into that penalty box. That is crucial. Julian Alvarez, Erling Haaland, both scored hat-tricks at the weekend. I wonder where those goals were scored from. See what I mean? They need players that have that little bit of movement. That goal that Jesus scored in the first leg, yes, okay. Alaba just about got his foot to it, but he's pressuring the centre-half in that scenario. And that is where the mistake comes. Turns, finishes. Massively important. It could be again this week as well. And they will rue missed opportunities if they don't go through. That is, I think, fair to say.
One thing I would say to counteract that a little bit is that they scored 4 goals. And now I get what you're saying. Riyad Mahrez should have scored 3 goals, I think, in this game, walked off without scoring a single goal. But they did score 4 goals. So ultimately, they do create chances and score those goals. So it's one of those where I think it feels like such an abyss in the penalty box a lot of the time when you don't have that striker there. But in so many different areas, they are still creating those chances. And I actually think, the more I think about it, if they go out of this tournament, they will look to the first leg. They will look to those missed opportunities. But actually, conceding 3 against this Real Madrid side, that shouldn't have happened. And that's where they will have lost it. And that's where they will win it in this game this week, is controlling the ball, controlling the game, and not conceding goals.
So we can at least look forward to what should be another fantastic match. This time at the Bernabeu, Real Madrid needing to come from a goal behind against Manchester City, and it's so hard to call. I wonder how confident Carlo Ancelotti and his side will be of overturning that deficit. What do you think, James?
I think Carlo Ancelotti will be looking at this and thinking, if Man City play to their capacity, we're going to really struggle here. Because if you think of the last two rounds, there's been moments where Real Madrid, have been let off the leash a little bit. I think this is going to be a classic, Hugh. I really do. Just because I think actually it's all about the top 2 inches for Man City. They are no doubt, in my opinion, a better side than this Real Madrid side. They've got better processes in place, great work rate within this team as well. And a lot of players that have been there and done it, but they haven't done it in the Champions League, and they've got to go and do it at the Bernabeu. And that is the question for me, is can they deal with the nerves of this one? The first half of the game will be very interesting. And I think even if it's still 0-0 at half time, Real Madrid, I think, would take that. I really do think so. And I don't think it's even down to Real Madrid, in my opinion, because I think you know what you're going to get. They're going to hang in there. They're going to have someone like Benzema who will take his big chances when he gets them. You'll have Vinicius Jr. who will work and look for Benzema at every opportunity. But if Man City play to their capacity and don't get nervy, they'll be fine. So I'm going to go with Man City on this one, because I don't know how Real Madrid have got this far, if I'm honest. I really think that they have been the lesser side in the bulk of the game so far. I think only 30% of these 3 knockout ties have they been the better team, and somehow they're still in it. So I expect Man City to get the job done, but at the Bernabeu, it's going to be very difficult. How do you see this one panning out, mate?
Well, listen, to answer your point there, how do I think Real Madrid can do it? They have been so far, the scavengers of the Champions League. They've been the vultures circling, and they have picked the flesh off the bones of every single mistake that their opponents have made in these knockout rounds. They've shown their experience. You have to be near faultless to count them out. And actually, having seen Manchester City in the biggest of games over the last few years, I think that's their issue, that they find it difficult to hold their nerve. I know a lot of people have called it Pep's overthinking, but if you look at how the games have panned out, when it comes down to those big moments, those tense moments where the tie hangs in the balance, they have been on the losing side of the key moments. Now, maybe they will have gained some experience over the last few seasons to help them cope against Real Madrid away from home, if that does happen. But I know that if they give the ball away cheaply, which of course they're not known for, but if they do, big if, Real Madrid, will pick up on that and they will hurt them. So they have to be near faultless. And I actually think those changes at the back, those possible missing players in defense, affects their ability to keep the ball in good possession. So they might be a little bit more direct. If they can get in behind Real Madrid, they could hurt them there. And it might be a slightly different setup from Pep Guardiola, who might, and I'm just saying might, overthink things again. So that's their way back into it. Pep, I beg you, for the second year in a row, do not overthink it.
Hi guys, James Allcott here from ESPN's Football Forecast. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe to ESPN UK.